The hills of West Virginia resound with the sounds of Golden Blue football.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
Now let's bring on the Mountaineers. Goes around about the 15 to 10 to 5. A touchdown, West Virginia. He did it.
He did it. Patrick White. Touchdown, Tay Von Austin.
The Don Nehlen's Mountaineers enjoy walking in where angels fear to tread.
I think you think that these guys are going to fall over dead for you. Well, I got news for you. They're going to punch you right in the mouth. It's Mountaineer pride.
Nothing cheap, nothing dirty, but West Virginia football. West Virginia football.
We've no doubt tonight they shouldn't have played the old Golden Blue. Not this night.
They've done it. They've done it. A perfect season. And the Mountaineers, for the first time in history, undefeated and untied.
Don Nehlen and his Mountaineers, for the second time, have finished a regular season with an unblemished mark.
Ain't no stopping the Golden Blue.
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Yes, back again, second live stream of the day, only on YouTube this time, but I felt it was necessary for multiple reasons. Number one, I wanted to share the women's seed because they did actually get into the NCAA tournament as they should, and hopefully they make some noise there in the dance. And number two is I promised you guys on the last stream that I was going to give you guys the info on the CRW bracket challenge so you guys could join into that and maybe win a couple free months of membership here to the channel. And I got so ticked off and so aggravated that it completely slipped my mind at the end of the last stream, so I wanted to come back and give you guys that information here in a bit. And then since then, there's been a lot of people sounding off around the nation on WVU getting absolutely hosed by the NCAA, as we talked about on the previous stream, including West Virginia's athletic director, Wren Baker, who had some really telling things to say, and I think, made a big and bold statement coming out and saying things the way he did, including providing, statistical analysis and reasons why West Virginia should have been in the tournament, and how we all know that they got hosed, and trying to let everyone else know as well. And it seems pretty resounding throughout the nation, people that are really feeling bad for WVU, that really feel like WVU got the short end of the stick, as we definitely did in the men's tournament. Even Dick Vitale, I'll share his statement, Fran Fraschilla, many others I've got here. I want to share some of the sentiments coming from around the nation, so we'll get to that momentarily. But before we do, let's talk a bit about the West Virginia women, because funny enough, they do, of course, make the tournament as we expected, as you see. But look where they're playing. Dancing down to where? Chapel Hill, which is where UNC is located. And funny enough, UNC, the 3 seed in that region. So I know a lot of people on the men's side are really pissed at the Tar Heels, and rightfully so. UNC shouldn't have been in the tournament, and WVU deserved to be. And of course, UNC's AD being on the selection committee, that's a whole other issue. If you want to get into the conspiracy angle, the collusion angle, you could certainly do that as well. But the women will be playing in the same region as the UNC women, which is interesting. Let's let me take a look here. Let me share this video really quickly from the women's side.
We move on down the bracket here in Birmingham, too. Your 6-11 matchup, sitting in that 6th position, it's the West Virginia Mountaineers, and man, will they rely on defense. They lead the Big 12 in points per game allowed and turnovers forced per game. And of course, it goes through J.J. Quinterly, first team all Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. We see the reaction there. Congratulations to the Mountaineers. Your matchup in the first round will be the winner of the Columbia Lions and Washington Huskies. We move on down the bracket here in.
So there you have it for the West Virginia women. The 6th seed playing the winner of the first 4 game on the women's side there. And if they find a way to win that first round game, they got a chance to face off against UNC in the second round in Chapel Hill. As you know, the women's tournament, the first couple round games there are played on the home floors of the people in the higher seeded there in the region. So they got a chance to play UNC in Chapel Hill, which would be a chance for the women to maybe get some retribution for what happened on the men's side of things. Interesting the way that fell, but certainly we'll be following the West Virginia women throughout the tournament. JJ Quinterly and company, Coach Mark Kellogg have put together a great season, and I think they're a team that could make a run in the dance, and I hope they do pull that off. They certainly deserve some recognition there for making the big dance, and think that they can do a good job in the big dance. And here's a look at the full women's bracket. As you see right here, West Virginia playing the winner of that first 4 game as they draw the 6th seed there. Of course, the final there in that region will be in Birmingham, but they will play the winner of the first 4 game, and then they'll play the winner of North Carolina and Oregon State if they find a way to win that first round game, which I think they can, and I hope that they do pull it off. So shout out to the West Virginia women making the tournament. Which then brings us to, of course, the thing that we've been lamenting for a few hours now. I took some time to try and cool off. Didn't necessarily cool me off any, but at least felt like I was level-headed enough to come back on here, do a stream, talk with you guys. Want to get you guys the bracket challenge info. I'll do that here towards the tail end of the stream. Won't keep you guys too long on this one, though. It's a little bit later at night. But you guys that are in here, throw your thoughts in the chat if you're in here live. Yeah, please, as Tosh Miller says here in the chat, hit the like button. That helps a ton with the YouTube algorithm. If you just hit that thumbs up button, really helps us a lot. And be sure to subscribe here to the channel. We'll be covering all the WVU sports here, basketball throughout these tournaments. And then, of course, any coaching news that comes about, fingers crossed we don't have to cover anything on that side of things. And, of course, WVU football still progressing through the spring, and we keep you up to date on all things going on throughout the Mountaineer football program. So be sure you're subscribed here to the channel. If you haven't already, catch up on some of these comments really quickly, and then let's talk a little bit about the men's side of things, because multiple people have come out and spoken in West Virginia's favor, not just Athletic Director Wren Baker. We will share his statement. I've got an audio clip from Mad Dog Sports, the show on Sirius XM, lamenting this as well. Dick Vitale even, Fran Francilla. So a lot of people really sounding off on this, and I want to share some of those statements. As Trey Edwards says, wasn't expecting Wren to come out and say something like he did. We needed that. Now we need DeVries to make a decision, and hopefully it's a positive one, because we could not handle 2 gut punches in a row for sure. Channel member Trey Edwards says, let's show out for the women. They deserve it. Completely agree. Jeff Burton said the women will get screwed too. Hopefully not. I know last year they had some questionable calls in the NCAA tournament once they got to that Sweet 16 matchup, but hopefully they come out and put on a show and make a run in the big dance. They have the capability, they have the coach, they have the players to be able to do it. So hopefully, everything else goes in their favor and they're able to accomplish that goal moving forward. That's what the hope is. So let's talk about what Wren Baker had to say first, and then we'll get to some of these other comments from around the nation as well. Appreciate you guys that are in here live. Throw your thoughts in the chat there. If you're watching on a playback, you can throw them in the comments. I'll respond there. I'll drop a link to the CRW Tournament Challenge here in a little bit, and I will drop that in the comments for you guys that watch on the playback as well. But first, let's talk about what Wren Baker had to say about West Virginia getting absolutely hosed by the selection committee, and then we will look at some other comments on this as well. All right, so from the athletic director himself, heartbroken for WVU hoops. I can't comprehend this team being left out. Our resume was better than several teams in the field, and it's a terrible travesty that we weren't included. Absolutely terrible travesty. Love the way he put that. I have so much appreciation for Coach DeVries, our coaching staff, and players. They deserved better than what the committee delivered today. Absolutely. Let's rally around these young men and let them know how proud we are of them. And we are very proud of them. Just hate that the NCAA treated them the way that they did. And then, of course, he put some proof to the pudding right here. 6 wins over Quad 1 teams, 5 of them being away from home, 5 Quad 1 wins on the road, which is more than San Diego State, Xavier, and UNC had combined. And then, of course, we had 5 of them on the road, which equals how many they all 3 had combined. All 3 of those teams made the tournament. 6 wins against the net top 50 and 13 against the net top 100. Even lists them off here. Gonzaga, Iowa State, Arizona, Kansas, Cincinnati twice, UCF, Utah twice, TCU, Colorado, Georgetown, and Oklahoma State. Defeated 4 ranked teams, 2 of them being in the top 3. Number 2, Iowa State. Number 3, Gonzaga. 3 of them being in the top 10 when you add number 7 Kansas and then number 24 Arizona. Kansas on the road, 2 of those being at neutral sites. One of only 30 teams in the entire country to win 6 or more Quad 1 games. Played 15 Quad 1 teams. As of March 12th, WVU defeated 2 automatic qualifiers, Gonzaga and Robert Morris. 4 Big 12 road wins. Played the 19th toughest schedule in the nation. Have played 23 games against Quad 1 and Quad 2 teams. So 23 out of 32 games, right? 9-0 against Quad 3 and Quad 4 teams. So 0 losses in Quad 3 and Quad 4. No, UNC had at least 1 Quad 3 loss. Don't know about the others that made it over West Virginia. But, I mean, you can look at every category here, and West Virginia's resume is better. West Virginia has played the second most Quad 1 games of any Big 12 team. Non-conference RPI of 24th in the nation. 3 wins against AP top 10 teams, the most in the Big 12. So there you have it right there, just alone on West Virginia's resume. That's an NCAA tournament resume, and I'm so glad that Wren Baker put all of that out along with his statement, which is so awesome that he makes that statement. Wren Baker just continues to do great things as West Virginia's athletic director, and going to bat for the team after they get screwed by the NCAA really just adds to his legacy, in my opinion. And, love the fact that he's going to bat for his university and for his basketball team there on the men's side. So definitely wanted to share that from Wren Baker, but he's not the only one. We have plenty of others from around the country sounding off and agreeing with what Wren Baker is talking about. How about the great Dickie V? Dick Vitale himself kind of talks a little bit about what I talked about in the stream earlier, where why are we putting so much importance on this Quad 1 stuff if it's not even going to matter, as he states here. All we hear is talk about the importance of Quad 1 wins. UNC in Quad 1 tough games was 1-12. Don't you have to win at least a couple? UNC passes my eye test, but I don't want to hear the committee talk about how vital Quad 1 wins are. Obviously not for all teams. I feel WVU Hoops got a raw deal. So even right there, Dick Vitale saying it, plain and simple. I feel WVU Hoops got a raw deal. 100%. Couldn't agree more. So there's Wren Baker, there's Dick Vitale. Let's go further. There's more. Fran Fraschilla. In my wildest dreams, I never thought they would do this to WVU Hoops. But again, as smart as these people are, it always comes down to who's in the room with you deciding. It has always been that way. And I saw someone put out, because I know the main thing's been UNC's athletic director being the head of the committee. Apparently, he's not allowed to be involved in UNC selection. But as Fran Fraschilla says here, he's still been in the room with those people. He still influenced them. It still makes a difference, obviously. And even Fran Fraschilla coming out and saying that lets you know that much. So we have that from the athletic director, from Dickie V, from Fran Fraschilla. How about some more here? Let's play this video clip, or it's actually, not more of an audio clip, from Mad Dog Sports Radio, which you can find on Sirius XM. Here is what they say about West Virginia getting screwed by the NCAA. It's about a couple minutes long, guys, so check this one out. It really shares some of our same sentiments.
West Virginia was left out because of Tucker DeVries' injury. Boy, that's a little strong, isn't it, Steve? Is that the fair thing to do?
It's disappointing.
I mean, that's not the fair thing to do. Here it is. How about the other 12 guys on the team? So the 11 guys on the team did enough to win, to get into the NCAA. So one guy gets out, and we're going to take them out, and they're not going to be a high seed. We're going to blow the year away because of an injury. That is not. What are you telling the other 11 guys?
Well, right. And, that this wasn't, I didn't see any of this. I knew he was hurt, but I never saw any of this brought up.
He was hurt all year. He didn't play all season.
And again, are they trying to justify in that room squeezing in Xavier in North Carolina? Because, all right, well, look, it's going to look bad, but we got to figure out something. I got a tough time with this one. Terrible.
When did DeVries get hurt? In December.
Yeah, yep.
So they made a decision. The guy hadn't played all year, and they kicked him out of the tournament because of that.
That's what they're claiming.
I'll tell you, this committee, that's not right. That's not right. Now, you want to tell me you don't like what they did? All right, they did beat Gonzaga. I'm looking at their schedule, Steve. They beat Arizona and Gonzaga in November. They also won at Kansas. They beat Iowa State. They beat the 2 teams.
When was the Iowa State win again?
The Iowa State game.
It had to be past December, obviously.
Was January 18th.
Yeah.
So hold on now. So DeVries didn't play in that game. So they beat Iowa State, a 3 seed, and DeVries didn't play, yet they didn't get in the tournament because he was out all year.
We should try to get the coach on. Seriously. He's his dad.
That's his father from Drake.
Yeah. But that is just.
That's not fair.
That's a joke.
That is a joke. Did he play early in the year when they had these other wins?
Well, he wouldn't have been in conference play because they don't start conference play that early.
When they beat Kansas, he didn't play. They won at Kansas. He did not play in a game. So I mean, they won at Kansas, Stephen. Hold on now. This is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Bubba, you did a terrible job here.
Yeah, we got to research this a little bit more because like I knew he was out. Never crossed my mind that they would be excluded from the field.
It's
Never.
not fair. If the team played 80% of the season and they were good enough to get in the tournament,
right?
You can't punish that 11 guys because of an injury. That's not fair. Forget North Carolina. West Virginia got screwed more than anybody.
Yeah, West Virginia got royally screwed.
And there you hear it. And that's not from anyone related to WVU. That's Mad Dog Sports Radio on Sirius XM. So around the nation, everyone is feeling the same sentiments of Mountaineer Nation, that West Virginia is absolutely gotten screwed by the NCAA in this. And the fact that they don't have an excuse. They don't have a real reason why they left West Virginia out. They can't come up with one. The thing that they tried to come up with was because, we take player availability into account. Tucker DeVries wasn't available. It's just absolute a joke, as they said right there, because he hasn't been a part of the team since 8 games into the season. And here's a little bit more info on that. Here you go. So this is what the statement was from the UNCAD, who's also the head of the selection committee, Bubba Cunningham. They had an outstanding year, and unfortunately, Tucker DeVries was hurt, and player availability was something we talk about quite a bit. So they're just grasping at straws because that's the lamest excuse I've ever heard. Because check this out as well. Nick Farrell sharing this one from Golden Blue Nation on X in relation to that, the reason that the NCAA tried to give, which is absolute bullshit, because here you are. WVU earned more Quad 1 wins without Tucker DeVries than UNC earned all season. And UNC gets in. They also earned more Quad 1 wins without Tucker DeVries than Xavier did, and they got in. Same thing with San Diego State. You can go on down the list. West Virginia absolutely hosed, and the committee cannot give you a real reason as to why, because there is no real reason as to why, except for something they're trying to make up as an excuse here with this Tucker DeVries situation when he hasn't been a part of the team essentially the whole season. And that's just absolutely ridiculous, guys. Absolutely ridiculous. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, the excuses they're trying to make. Couple more here, and then we will get to the bracket challenge info as promised, guys. But check this out. So 111 out of 111 bracketologists had West Virginia in the field. As they were projected into 111 of 111 brackets, West Virginia becomes the first unanimous selection to ever miss the NCAA tournament. The first time it's ever happened that a unanimous selection in all 111 of the bracketologies doesn't make the tournament. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Of course, the first time it ever happens, it happens to us, right? Of course. And then we have this from our friend Whitey Williams, which you guys should check out, the Old Grad podcast. If you haven't, it's really good stuff. Whitey Williams, the brother of Reed Williams, him and Reed on that show, and Crum as well on that show. They do a good job. He also says 111 out of 111 prognosticators had WVU in the field. Only the selection committee did not. Less than 30% of predictions had UNC in it. Just so happened the committee was led by this POS, Nepo Move of the Year, down with NCAA, and of course talking about Bubba Cunningham, the UNC AD, being the head of the selection committee. Just, it's literally like blows your mind what happened to WVU today. It blows your mind, especially the more you see people come out and talk about this, the more proof that gets added to the pudding with the resumes when you compare them. When you look at West Virginia's resume, it's just absolutely unbelievable. A terrible travesty for sure, as Wren Baker put it. I'm so glad that he sounded off on it, and so glad some of these other people around the nation have sounded off on it as well. I see a video being shared here of Mark Kellogg addressing the women's team after their seed was announced. So let me share this here to talk a little bit more about something positive. Let's hear what Mark Kellogg had to say as Joe Bricado from Metro News has shared this on social media. And then we will get to the bracket challenge info, guys.
I got the media here, so I got to be careful this year. I'm going to start the storm we did last year. But Chapel Hill, all right, so maybe we can get, I know we got a great, alumni base down kind of in that area, so hopefully that helps from a crowd perspective. It's drivable for maybe a lot of you in this room. We would love to have you down there with us. Don't ask me anything about Columbia or Washington yet. We know nothing, so that's okay. We don't need to tonight. We're going to enjoy it and celebrate it. And be proud that we're obviously dancing, and that's a great accomplishment for this team. So we couldn't be more proud of where we are and what we've done. You do get defined a ton, though, by what you do this weekend and moving forward, so we will prepare like we've done all year long to go do something really, really special and make you guys proud. But from our standpoint, I think we're excited. Last week they had great energy, and we got to practicing, which is sometimes hard to do when you don't have an opponent this time of year. But now we certainly do, and we've got a lot to prepare for in a short period of time. So it's kind of like slow, and then it hits you really quick now. And we'll go divide up the scouts here in a second and start to get these guys prepared tomorrow. But we have time, and I think it said we play Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. So it starts Friday for the women, and then we'll play Saturday. I'm assuming Washington and Columbia will play Thursday in Chapel Hill. So we'll, I guess, get down there and watch that one first, and then know who we're going to play. But we're excited. Appreciate everybody coming. Please join us down there.
All right, so good stuff there from Mark Kellogg. I think it's funny that he started off with the joke there after last year. He said whatever it was he said about Caitlin Clark in Iowa, and of course that made the rounds nationally, so said he wasn't going to try and do that this time. But for those of you that missed it, this was the tournament draw for the West Virginia women. They are a 6 seed. They'll play the winner of Columbia and Washington, as Coach Kellogg referenced there. Their game will be on Saturday. Funny enough, if North Carolina wins, the women will beat UNC, so maybe they can get a little bit of revenge for what happened on the men's side here, as they'll play UNC in Chapel Hill. If they can win that first round game, it's likely that they'll meet them there in the second round. So that's what the women have coming up, as they are in the big dance. And we know the men should have been, and we covered that a little bit here to begin the stream with Wren Baker, Dick Vitale, Fran Fraschilla, members of the national media, all kinds of people sounding off on how bad West Virginia was hosed. And despite the fact WVU not being in it, we are still going to do the bracket challenge here on the Country Roads webcast. I know some people may not want to watch the tournament now, may not want to participate. That's cool. I completely understand that as well. But if you do want to participate in a bracket challenge, you should definitely participate in ours. It'll be via the ESPN Tournament Challenge app, which I'll drop a link here to the group momentarily, but I'll show you guys how to look it up on your own here also. And what we're doing this year, past couple of years, we've given the winner some merch, but this year we want to gift the winner 2 months of membership to the CRW channel, free of charge to enter the bracket challenge, of course, no cost to you, and the winner will be gifted enough money to pay for 2 months worth of membership here on the Country Roads webcast YouTube channel. Of course, if Steven, Brad, or myself wins, it'll be whoever is the next person in. The only thing that I ask of you guys is if you do join, make your bracket name the same as your name here on YouTube. That way I'll know who's who, and I won't have to try and play a guessing game as to who won, and we can get you your winnings there and get you your free couple months of membership, which I'll send you about $12 or $13. It's $5 a month for a membership here plus tax, and so that should cover the tax as well to be able to get you a couple months of membership here to the CRW channel. So that's what we're doing here this year. And let me share this screen really quickly. So I'll drop the link in the chat, and I'll drop the link in comments for people watching after the fact as well. I'm going to zoom this in. But if you go to the ESPN Tournament Challenge, you go to join a group, you come in the search bar, you type Country Roads Webcast, just like it is here on the channel. Should come up. You can click it right there. It'll take you here. You hit join group, fill out a bracket. There I am. I see someone else has already joined as well. I haven't filled mine out yet, but there I am, a CRW Cruise. And once you join, you can change the name. And like I said, just make it your name that is the same as you show up here on YouTube. That way I'll know who's who. That's the one thing I ask. But let me see if it'll let me share this group here. How do I do this? Interesting. So I might just have to drop the link in the chat afterward if it's not going to give me a share option here, which is interesting. It usually does have one right up top here. Don't know why it doesn't. Maybe it's because I'm not signed into my account, but nonetheless, I will drop a link in the comments, and I'll pin it in the comments on this video for you guys to have. But if not, you can go just, ESPN Tournament Challenge app on your phone. Go to, the groups, search Country Roads Webcast. Free, it's public, so all you can do is hit join. It'll put you right in there. You can fill out your bracket. Free of charge, it costs you nothing, and you can win 2 months of membership here to the channel. So I wanted to provide that info here. Let me drop that off. At least drop the link to the ESPN Tournament Challenge app in case people want to go through it here online. Of course, I know a lot of people do it on their phone. But here is the link in the chat for you guys. And like I said, I'll post in the comments a link to the group for sure. But yeah, definitely go join free of charge. And hey, you can win you a couple months of membership here to the channel, which I think you'll really enjoy because everyone that's tuned into this, I'm sure, is a big-time WVU fan. But that's pretty much all I had, guys. Wanted to share people sounding off around the nation on WVU getting absolutely screwed. Wanted to give the women their due and share their seed and opponent for the NCAA tournament. And then definitely wanted to provide the info for the CRW bracket challenge because I meant to do that in the stream earlier, but I was too perturbed to be able to do that at the time and completely slipped my mind. So better late than never, but had to come with a second stream for multiple reasons. But I appreciate everyone that came into this one live. Whether you're watching it live or on a playback, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Help us a ton with that YouTube algorithm. Get this pushed out to more Mountaineer Nation so they can find out about the bracket challenge here on the Country Roads webcast and join in and play with some fellow Mountaineers as well. And if you haven't already, be sure you subscribe to the channel so you can keep up to date with everything going on around the Mountaineer sports teams. And we appreciate all of you guys that tuned in here live. I'll catch up on some of your comments here. If you didn't get a chance to tune in live, you can share them in the comments after the fact. Let's see where I left off. Mark Aldridge, what's going on, man? Good to see you, Mark. Do you think we will accept the invitation to the NIT? Personally, I didn't think that we would, but I did see someone, I want to say it was Smoking Musket, I believe, put out that it's West Virginia's contractually obligated to potentially play in a postseason tournament if they have the invite come their way. I don't know what that's tied into, but I did see someone post that, so we very well could be playing in the NIT, or I think it's called something else this year. I think I saw that going around, but it's a possibility. I didn't think that we would, but it looks like it's a possibility. Jeff Burton says if we go to the NIT, Small may not play. Also possible, which would be even worse for us because it's not going to be a good performance probably. If Javon doesn't play, I'd worry about how we would look. But we'll see what happens for sure. JR said, what all I miss in this stream? A good bit, man. No, I just really shared a lot of comments from people around the nation sounding off on how West Virginia got screwed, not only from WVU related people, but from Dick Vitale, Fran Fraschilla, Mad Dog Sports Radio on Sirius XM shared their segment, and of course talked a bit about the women's tourney draw, which funny enough, they'll be playing in Chapel Hill. And then of course the CRW bracket challenge info, which hopefully you guys get in there. Channel member WVU1 saying DeVries made a statement. Hey, perfect. Just in time for us to share it before the end of the stream here. Let me see if I can pull that up as well. Thank you. Let's see if I can find it here on social media. I'm not seeing it. Let me check. Is it on the WVU Sports website maybe? I don't see it. You got a link to it, WV1? If so, I will. I'd love to share that on stream here, Darren DeVries' statement, because I'm not seeing it on social media for some reason. Here it is. Found it. Sorry, I wasn't pulling up the first time. I don't know why. I went to the WVU basketball page, didn't pull up the first time, but got it now. Statement from Coach DeVries, which I'm glad he put out a statement as well. I was wondering if we'd hear from any players on the team or coaches. We've heard from Wren Baker, but now we get this from Coach DeVries as well. Obviously, we are extremely shocked, saddened, and disappointed with not being selected for the NCAA tournament. We strongly believe that we have a resume that is worthy of an NCAA tournament team. I'm incredibly proud of this team and what they accomplished. They poured their hearts into this season and put all their collective efforts into making the NCAA tournament, and I believe they did that. Hey, mic drop there. Strong statements from Wren Baker and Darren DeVries. I love that they're going to bat for this team and speaking the truth, to the NCAA, letting everyone know how bad they were screwed in just a terrible travesty, as Wren Baker put it. And, of course, Darren DeVries agrees, and many people around the nation agree as well. So that is what it is. Well, we're not in the NIT, I can tell you right now, because the NIT just tweeted out their 32-team field. West Virginia is not in it, so they may be in one of the other tournaments that I saw pop up. I know there's another new one going around, so we'll see what happens with that. But West Virginia not in the NIT. See someone say West Virginia turned down the NIT invite, which is interesting. I wanted to find the tweet from Smoking Musket that talked about them being obligated to play in another tournament. Let me see if I can find that or not really quickly. Let's see. Here it is. This is what Smoking Musket said. WVU fans collectively learning the horrible truth that I've been trying to warn them about for weeks. Contractual obligation to play in the college basketball crown. Which I don't even know what the college basketball crown is. That's what, the CBC tournament, I guess? Let me see. So it's a new tournament. Interesting. Put on by Fox Sports and the Anschutz Entertainment Group, the College Basketball Crown is a new postseason tournament aimed at giving teams in power conferences and others that didn't make the NCAA tournament a chance to continue their season and play for a title. So, let me pull this up here, show you guys. Sounds like we could be playing in this thing if what Smoking Musket's putting out there is true. And according to this, the entire tournament will be played in Las Vegas and will feature 16 teams with guaranteed selections from the Big 10, Big 12, and Big East. While the dates for the tournament are known, not much else is known about the tournament nor who will be in it. Interesting. Still, it's an intriguing alternate option for college hoops and will be one to watch outside the NCAA tournament. Here's what we know about the inaugural college basketball crown. It'll be played Monday, March 31st through the final on Sunday, April 6th. First round, March 31st and April 1st. Second round, April 2nd and April 3rd. Semifinals, April 5th. Sunday, April 6th. It has not been announced when the college basketball crown bracket will be announced or shown. A Fox Sports spokesperson told USA Today Sports last week that the field will be revealed early next week. So no release on the bracket yet, but looks like West Virginia could be in this 16-team college basketball crown single elimination tournament, as 6 of the 16 teams will come from the Big East, Big 10, and Big 12. The conference mentioned will get at least 2 teams in the field each. The rest of the field will be at-large selections, although the criteria for selecting those teams has not been announced yet. Of course, it will be played in Las Vegas. The games aired on Fox and Fox Sports 1. Semifinals championship game being on Fox. First and second rounds being on FS1. So that's what we know about the college basketball crown that sounds like West Virginia could end up playing in. So keep a lookout on this for information as it comes out on that. And if more information does come out on that, we will report on it here on the CRW as well, for sure. Leslie Roberts said, this is bad when Dickie V throws support to WVU. Yeah, I was surprised to see him and a lot of other national people really speaking in WVU's favor on this one, actually. Very surprised, but very pleased. Chris Marcheski, appreciate you, man. Don't think I've seen you in here before. Hope you subscribe and check out more of the stuff here on the channel. The women should have had a 4 seed. They got a 6. They were ranked in the top 16 at last ranking and lost to the Big 12 champs in the tournament. Unbelievable. Oh, yeah, 100%, but why, we're not surprised that they got a lower seed after West Virginia continues to be screwed by the NCAA time and time again. Today being an all-timer on the men's side that's right up there with Stedman Bailey getting snubbed for the Blitnikoff Award and others you can name for sure. Hey, channel member Trey Edwards just joined the bracket group. Appreciate that, Trey. Hopefully more of you guys take up that opportunity as well. No cost to you, and you can win 2 free months of membership to the channel, or if you're already a member like Trey and you end up winning, just get a little extra cash in your pocket. But appreciate you, Trey. And if you want to be a channel member like Trey, get that nice WVU football helmet badge beside your name, access to custom emojis, bonus content that includes player grades, snap counts, injury reports, depth chart projections, film reviews, and game rewatches throughout the season. And then in the off season, we do game rewatches, kind of watching film on other things. Last year we did the previous season. This year we're going to be doing Jack State film, looking at the offense and defense that'll be coming in, trying to scout that a little bit. And of course we also have monthly hangouts for Almost Heaven members where we just kind of hang out, shoot the shit a little bit. So that's, just a little bit of the extra content that you get as a channel member here. Helps keep this mic recording and that camera rolling. And I always appreciate our channel members like Trey, who says he almost had a perfect bracket in the 2023 tourney. Hey, if you keep that luck rolling, you got a good chance again this year to win. I'd say Trey, for sure. We'll be on the lookout for you. Trey says, let's go dominate the NIT or college basketball crown or whatever. Hey, I hope so, man. I hope so. If we are in that, like it looks like we might be, hopefully we put on a show the NCAA what they missed out on. Tosh Miller says WVU and Indiana will be the two best teams in it. Very much so. Big Dan T showing off some of the custom emojis there in chat. You guys can see there on the YouTube side. So appreciate you always. Big Dan T, channel member here as well. Trey Edwards says Indiana doesn't have a head coach. Didn't they let their head coach go too as well? I know Iowa did. I think that you're right there, Trey. I do believe that they have an interim right now. Yeah, they're looking for a head coach now as well. So yeah, neither one has a head coach currently, so I'm sure they have someone filling in the interim, I guess. But that's pretty much all I had, guys. I had to share the statements from around the country, share Wren Baker's statement, and luckily we got Darren DeVries' statement here at the tail end as well, which we got to share. Everyone sounding off on, an all-time screw job by the committee against West Virginia for sure. And we'll see where West Virginia ends up now in postseason play. Looks like it could be that college basketball crown tournament, which will be anxiously awaiting news on that as it comes out. We'll report on it here on the CRW. And of course, shout out to the women making the tourney. Hopefully they make a run. As for positives, the women are in the tourney. They got a chance to make a run. The baseball team 16-1. The rifle team won a natty. Kaylee McCabe won a natty in track. So there's some positives to look forward to. I guess we got to try and look to something to get us back in positive spirits after an absolute all-time screw job by the NCAA today. And you just hate to see what happened to West Virginia today. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today, lamenting this news and kind of sharing our rants together. Me here on the microphone, you guys in chat and in the comments of the videos. And always appreciate you guys tuning in and chiming in. I'll be back with a live stream. If not tomorrow, then definitely be back on Tuesday for sure to probably chat with you guys again. Whenever the news comes out on that tournament or anything else, I will come back and talk with you guys. I always enjoy talking to you guys in these live chats. We'll see what happens moving forward for WVU men in postseason play, but we'll get ready to cheer on the WVU women in their first round game, playing there in Chapel Hill as they make the big dance. Appreciate you guys. As always, I'm Jordan Cruz. And until next time, screw the NCAA and let's go Mountaineers.